Back in the garage, getting ready to assemble the two case halves. I've just about got everything together to do this, and I've got the cam in, and everything's just about ready. The case is cleaned up. And make sure that the case halves where you join them are really clean before I put this Honda Bond. That's what I'm planning on using to seal the case halves. I saw where this is being used in place of the Permatex Aviation, and I decided to go with that. How I'm going to put this case sealer on is with an acid brush, and I just cut about half the bristles off of it, and we'll see how that works. I'm going to try to put a very thin coat on the case halves. I don't want to get too much on there and risk getting this into the case and circulated with the oil if it creeps out of the inside where you put it on. So I'm going to be very careful about that. So I've gotten to this point where I'm just about ready to put the halves together. I've got all the bearings have got a little oil on them. The lifters have been oiled inside and have some assembly lube on the top of the lifters. A little bit of oil, just a little bit in each one of these holes, so it'll slip down a little better over those grommets. So just about ready to join the case halves. We've got almost everything ready. I did want to point out one thing. Of course, your seal is right here on the back. You can see that. So when I put the sealant on there, there's no reason to go back into this area, and you probably don't want to get it back in there, because if you were to get some in this oil groove, it could block things, and this seal is supposed to seal everything from here back anyway. So probably just want to put it in this area here and come around. Don't have to go all the way up there, just kind of in this area, all this area, and on the inside and outside of these, but not too heavy on the inside. And same here. And this is on the outside, so that won't matter much. And light on there and on the inside and around this stud. Same with here. Probably don't want to put a whole lot back in this area, but around here, and maybe around this area right here. Come around to the other side, kind of do the same thing, just put sealer in this area out, and then come around this stud a little bit here. Of course, you'll have the cam plug in this area, and you'll make sure you get some down in this groove good, and not a whole lot, but somewhat in that area on the inside and around on this one lightly, and in this area here, inside on this, and here, inside on this stud, around it, inside on this stud and around it, and inside on this pin and around it, and in the inside right there, and make sure you get some in there, and probably wouldn't hurt to go around and have some just about everywhere where these, you can see where the case is rubbed together on these places. So that's where it's mainly joining. 1-2 side of the case. Probably going to make sure I get plenty of the sealant in here, not too much, but make sure it's sealed around here, around here, around here, around these. These probably don't, because they're going to the outside anyway, they probably don't need a lot of sealer on the outside, but put a thin coat to make sure the mating is kind of consistent. Where this seal is, which is going to be right in this area, you probably don't need to go inside this area at all. Just on from there out, probably from there out, and from there out. Cam plug, and it is going to be put with the face towards the cam. Alright, this side looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do the 1-2 side of the case with sealant, and I'll be right back. So everything is oiled, the sealer's put on the outside of the case, and it looks like we're ready to put the case hats together. I'm going to try to do this one time. something a little bit. Get a little hammer. Looks like the case halves are mated on all four corners. Springs are out. A little time on these. Just kind of get the corners first. The engine's still turning over easily. Oh yeah. Still just fine. Okay. Alrighty. Next day back in the shop, my camera battery went dead just as I was getting ready to torque these two nuts down on the studs to 14 foot-pounds. So got that done. Got the 6 large case stud nuts torqued down to 25 foot-pounds, and got everything around the perimeter, all the nuts around the perimeter, the nuts and bolts torqued down. Also got the bump in before I torque these down, these 3, and that makes it a little easier to get the oil pump in. But it all went well. It still turns over smooth, and we're looking pretty good at this point. You'll notice I'm editing this video with a program called OpenShot, and you'll notice that there'll be places where it looks like it skips ahead just a little bit, and I just didn't want to bore you with some of the breaks that I was having to take to get a little organized. The next step will be putting the pistons on, and the jugs and the cylinder heads, the push rod tubes, and that will all be coming in the next video.